Welcome to another episode of Ask Windows Central. This week, I'm hosting as Dan's away, and we have special guest Jez Corden on to talk a little bit about Xbox. Let's dive in. Okay, Jez, thank you so much for joining us today. Glad to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me. I haven't been on the Windows Central main channel for quite a while, so this is fun.
Yes, welcome back. So I have a couple of gaming questions for you. I guess we'll jump right in. The first question I have is, how has Microsoft looked at games like Fortnite and League of Legends and how that translates to games as a service? Are they trying to make the next big hit?
Well, we do have Halo Infinite launching as a free-to-play game, the multiplayer portion at least. Microsoft is sort of like, their focus for Xbox nowadays is all about engagement and player growth, no matter where they are. So when we talk about Xbox, we often think about the console itself, but now Xbox is far more than just a console. You're looking at the mobile phones with xCloud, you're looking at PC. Sea of Thieves has just dominated Steam since it hit the platform. So the next big step for Microsoft probably is getting a free-to-play game that really blows up and hits the masses in much the same way as Fortnite, League of Legends, and to some degree Minecraft. Even though Minecraft's not strictly free-to-play, it's that sort of model that Microsoft wants to capture again. And I think with Halo Infinite they've got an opportunity there. Even though Halo Infinite's not going to have a native mobile version, they'll probably use xCloud as a vehicle, or Xbox Game Pass Ultimate Cloud Streaming as a vehicle to try and persuade people to get into the ecosystem there. But I think they are probably looking at mobile native games too. They've experimented with games like Forza Street, and I know League of Legends and Fortnite also are on PC and stuff like that, but I know Microsoft is working with some developers that make cloud native games with the design intent of hitting cloud, PC, mobile, and console all in one fell swoop. So the answer to that is yes.
Do you think games like Minecraft and Sea of Thieves could eventually become free-to-play?
That is interesting. I think in the case of Minecraft, Mojang has a lot of autonomy to run the business as they see fit, and the business model as it is has worked for them really well. We don't even have Minecraft on Xbox Game Pass yet, which is oh, wow. Yeah, so that's an outlier for an Xbox Game Studio game. Almost all of Xbox Game Studio games are on Xbox Game Pass, but Minecraft isn't. It's the exception. And that's because they have a very specific business model, very low price, low cost of entry. And then they have the creator economy store where, people can sell DLC packs and make them. There are businesses that make millions of dollars a year selling mods for Minecraft through that platform. So, that business model works for Minecraft, and I guess it works for Sea of Thieves as well. Could they go free to play someday? Maybe. But what tends to happen with free to play games is that they need to sell some sort of feature that gives you an accelerator or extra power and stuff, and that doesn't really work with Minecraft without upsetting the core balance of the game. So I do think it needs to be a new experience when it comes to some of these games. I think it'll work for Halo Infinite because there's a lot of potential with cosmetics and stuff like that, but for other games maybe not so much.
Okay, next question. What's the biggest issue facing Xbox right now? I'm interested in your thoughts on this.
I mean, it depends who you ask, really. If you ask a core Xbox user, they'll talk about things like the achievement system being really out of date, needing more features, needing completions PlayStation has. The Xbox achievement system has barely changed in literally over a decade, so that's something a lot of core games will talk about. Also, Xbox game DVR is really bad, I find. Sometimes it takes pictures that look washed out because of the HDR implementation, and when you share them to socials, they look terrible. Same with video clips. Sometimes the video clips have audios out of sync, and there's a lot of issues with Xbox game DVR there. But at a higher level, from an analytical perspective, I think it comes back to the first question, where I think the biggest issue facing Xbox right now is having a free-to-play game that's big on mobile. Like, if we're talking about like purely analytically here, I personally don't care about mobile games, and a lot of the people watching this might not care about those kind of mobile games, and especially like core gamers, whatever they are. But I do think, like, when you look at Microsoft as a company, one thing they really don't have, I mean, they do have Minecraft, and Minecraft is like consistently in the top 10 most sold games on mobile, but they don't have a suite of mobile games like Activision does, or EA does, or Square Enix do, and Capcom do, and Nintendo is, Nintendo has Pokemon Go and stuff like that, and they've been experimenting there. Microsoft's experimented with Forza Street, Gears Pop, and Minecraft Earth, all of which, except for Forza Street, have been shut down now. I wouldn't be surprised if Forza Street follows suit and gets shut down as well eventually, because those car licenses ain't cheap, and it does have a ton of licensed cars in the game. So Microsoft really does need a game that's mobile native, blows up in the way that some like games like PUBG Mobile, Call of Duty Mobile, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact, especially. Like, Genshin Impact is a really big one. I think like that is a great way for Microsoft to drive a halo effect over the Xbox brand in a way that they haven't been able to do outside of console. Crucially, with younger audiences, they are the next generation of gamers, and outside of Minecraft, Microsoft isn't really connecting with them right now, and I think that's a problem. I think, like, for people our age, they've got us, they've got our business, but like, what about the next generation? They're playing like Genshin Impact, they're playing Roblox, and they're playing games that aren't associated with the Xbox brand. Halo Infinite could be that game, but maybe not. So I do think like the mobile stuff is something that Microsoft, we can talk about Windows and the failure of Windows Phone as well. Like, the whole failure of Microsoft's platform in mobile has hurt their business in loads of different ways. And I think for gaming, I think that's the biggest issue facing it from an engagement perspective.
One complaint I see online quite a lot is that people say Xbox has no games. Do you think that's actually true these days?
I mean, it's going to take more to shatter that meme. That is right. A whole meme that Xbox has no games. And I do think E3 was a big turning point there. They announced Starfield as exclusive. So when it comes to the core, they're sort of seeing that and like, oh, Microsoft's serious about making Bethesda's games exclusive. So Elder Scrolls 6, you're not going to see that on PlayStation or Nintendo Switch. You're not going to see like the next Doom on Nintendo Switch or PlayStation. You're not going to see like Wolfenstein or most of these games. You're not going to see them hit other platforms. So Microsoft like is serious about delivering exclusive experiences, but we're still kind of waiting for them. A lot of these games aren't coming out till 2022. And games like Forza and Flight Simulator are good, but they don't have that sort of broad appeal maybe in some ways. You can't form an emotional attachment to a car or a plane like you can with some of these characters. And I think a lot of the memery, if that is a word, it comes from having a lack of relatable characters and memorable storylines and stuff like that. But I think that'll come. I think that'll come with Bethesda. I think that'll come with further acquisitions, which Microsoft has repeatedly hinted at in their investor calls and meetings with analysts and press. They talk about acquisitions all the time, and I think there's going to be more acquisitions to bolster Game Pass, more acquisitions to shatter that meme that Microsoft doesn't have exclusive games that are desirable. And it's gonna take time, a long time, but Xbox is selling well, fastest selling Xbox of all time. So it's not like they're in a bad position. I think a lot of the commentary comes from like a loud minority and stuff like that. So most people just play Call of Duty, FIFA, and Fortnite every year. They're not really aware of this meme. So
yeah. Well, Jez, I think that just about does it. Thank you so much for coming on. I know you're very busy, so we appreciate your time.
Thank you very much for having me.
So that just about does it for this episode. If you'd like your question answered on the show, make sure you tweet them at us with the hashtag AskWindowsCentral, or you can email Dan at daniel@windowscentral.com with the subject line Ask Windows Central. Thanks so much for watching, and we shall see you in the next episode.